Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. This is Abu Mohammed Chaudhary and welcome to AMI Physics class. Today we are going to cover a new chapter which is more about resistance. So let's not delay anymore, let's begin. Please write the name of the chapter more about resistance and also write the number of the chapter, and the chapter is chapter 2.05. So I will request you guys to take out your note copies to take notes or take an essays about the things I am going to show right now. So as you guys are seeing that I have drawn a circuit where I have connected a current conducting wire with a battery, and I have connected an ammeter, a voltmeter and a variable resistor in the circuit, and I have also connected the nichrome wire with the battery. I have connected a nichrome wire with the battery, and now you guys are seeing a bowl with water. Now this bowl with water is used because or to keep the temperature of the nichrome wire constant, as during the experiment the nichrome wire will give out some resistance, and because of that resistance the nichrome wire will get hot. So it doesn't get so hot, that's why the water is given. We have connected a variable resistor so that we can change the resistance for different experiments and we can average it. With the circuit above, you can find how the current through conductor depends on the voltage across it. We can basically measure, we are doing an experiment that how to find the current across a conductor. Current across a conductor depends on voltage across it. We are finding an experiment where we have been told, if you guys are told that do an experiment where you should show that the temperature or the current of the wire depends, or the current of a conductor depends on the voltage given. So for that we are using a nichrome wire and we are using water to keep the temperature constant. If the temperature rises, the experiment will go wrong and the result will be not correct. So we will not get the perfect average answer. As we are seeing here a table where 4 different types of voltages are given: 3.0 volt, 6.0 volt, 9.0 volt and 12.0 volt, and current has been passed. Listen, see, 1 ampere current has been passed, 2 ampere current has been passed, 3 ampere current has been passed. When 9 volts of current, there was 3 volts of 3 ampere of current, and when 12 voltage was passed, when the voltage of the circuit or the voltage of the wire was 12 volts, then the current of the amount of current which flowed around it was 4 volts. So the formula of calculating resistance is voltage across current, which means resistance equals to voltage by current, voltage divided by current. VR equals to V by I. So if we calculate like that, so 3 by 1 gives us 3, 6 by 2 gives us 3, 9 divided by 3 gives us 3, and finally 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. As we are seeing that for everything, for every type of voltage and different types of current, for different voltage and different current, the resistance is same. If the voltage doubles, the current also doubles. If the voltage doubles, the current also doubles. See, at the very beginning we have given 3 voltage and 1 ampere of current, and the second thing, at the second box or the second voltage is given, the second amount is 6 voltage, which is twice the amount of the first voltage. So we have also increased, or we have also doubled the amount of voltage. amount of current. See, as the current increases, 1, 2, 3, 4, the voltage also increases, the voltage doubles. The voltage, if the voltage doubles, the current also doubles. If the voltage is doubles, the current also doubles. The resistance across the nichrome wire keeps the same value, 3 ohm. 3 ohm in this case. In this case, the resistance is same for 3 voltage, 6 voltage, 9 voltage and 12 voltage. For this situation, the wire obeys Ohm's law, as the resistance is same for different types of voltage and different types of current. So the wire follows Ohm's law. For any wire to follow Ohm's law, the resistance must be the same. It doesn't matter what is the amount of voltage or what is the amount of current that has been passed through the wire. If the amount of resistance is constant or is the same for every type of voltage and current, then we can say that the wire obeys Ohm's law. For Ohm's law states that current is proportional to voltage. If they obey the relation V equals to IR, voltage is directly proportional to current. So I will write some important lines. I hope you guys will write it too or take an essays. The first line, the first important point is that if the voltage doubles, the current, if the voltage doubles, current also doubles. If the voltage doubles, current also doubles, full stop. The second line is that if the wire has the same amount of resistance for different amount of current and voltage, if the wire has the same amount of resistance, if the wire has the same amount of resistance for different amount of current and voltage, the second line will continue. First let me keep this thing for you guys. Please take an essay or take a note. If the voltage doubles, current also doubles. If the wire has the same amount of resistance for different amount of current and voltage. If the wire has the same amount of resistance for different amount of current and voltage. I will erase the first line and write the remaining part of the second line. So the remaining part is that if the wire has the, let me repeat the whole second point one more time. If the wire has the same amount of resistance for different amount of current and voltage, it obeys Ohm's law. Now, Ohm was the name of the scientist who invented resistance, or he actually didn't invented resistance. Resistance was there from the beginning, but he discovered it and he made some experiments. He did some experiments and find out the formula that resistance equals to voltage by current, and that's why that's why the name of the symbol or the name of the symbol of the resistance is Ohm, which is after his name. So I am keeping this for you guys to take an essay or take a note, and I am also repeating it. If the wire has the same amount of resistance, if the wire has the same amount of resistance for different amount of current and voltage, it obeys Ohm's law. It obeys Ohm's law. Now, Ohm's law states that the current is proportional to voltage. The current is proportional, or we can say directly proportional to voltage if they obey the relation V equals to IR. Ohm's law. As I have said that Ohm is the name of the scientist. Is the name of the scientist who basically people say invented resistance, but actually he discovered resistance as nothing. As we know that force was there from the beginning of the world. We are just discovering new forms of it. So resistance is also one kind of force. As we have learned in the previous chapter that resistance is a type of force that opposes current. Resistance is a type of force that opposes current or the flow of current. We know that type of force as resistance. So basically the scientist he discovered many things like resistance and something more about this thing, and that's why the symbol O, which looks like an horseshoe, is named after him. O. The symbol of resistance is O. I really hope that you guys are writing taking the notes or taking essays wherever you think is necessary, and whenever I'm saying it's necessary to take notes or take an essays. So please, I'm keeping this thing for a little bit. Ohm's law states that current is proportional to voltage if they obey the relation V equals to IR, voltage equals to current into resistance. As we have known, V is the short form of voltage, I is the short form of current, and R is the short form of resistance. V equals to IR. Now I will show you some mathematics or some examples of this type of question. Here, as we have done proportional mathematics, if we are doing proportional mathematics, we will understand that for removing that proportional sign and placing equals to, we place a constant K or any kind of constant, and for this time that constant is none other than resistance. That constant is resistance R. So V equals to R into I. Instead of the constant K, we will put R as the constant resistance. So now let me show you some maths about this. For example, if this type of question is given, if a wire is given 8 volts of current, if a wire is given 8 volts of current and it has a resistance of 4 ohm. If a wire is given 8 volts of current and it has a resistance of 4 ohms, calculate the amount of current passed through the wire. Calculate the amount of current passed through the wire. We will just simply use the formula V equals to IR. So by using the formula V equals to IR, we are just putting the values. We are given the value of voltage. How many voltage is given? 8 volts. So we will just put 8 instead of V in the next line, and the amount of resistance is 4 ohm. So I into 4, and for finding the value of I, we have to divide 8 by 4. So the value of I comes 2. 4 to the 8. If 8 volts of current is given and it has a resistance of 4 ohm, calculate the amount of current passed through the wire. So the amount of current is 2 ampere. We have seen the calculation. Voltage equals to current into resistance. Voltage by resistance equals to current. So the amount of current is 2 ampere. So let's keep it till today. আজকের জন্য এতটুকুই রাখা হোক, বাকিটা ইনশাআল্লাহ নেক্সট ক্লাসে বোঝানো হবে। তো আসসালামু আলাইকুম সবাইকে।